Alright, quarter to four is gonna be changing. Again. I've been doing some thinking on how I can create content that'll have the farthest reach, and after reviewing y'all's feedback and considering my impending dismissal from the YouTube partnership program, I'm just gonna do what I want when I want, because, you know, screw it. From this point forward, instead of focusing each video on a specific album, I'm gonna take 4 albums and create a 4 to 5 minute video where I look at each of those albums. Which, if you think about the title of the show, it makes way more sense. I don't really know why I didn't think of this before. Genius! On this first episode of Quarter to Four 2.0, I thought it would be charming to take a sneak peek at Justin Timberlake's 4 studio albums released up to this point, considering the fact that he has a new album coming out on Friday and he'll be performing at the Super Bowl on Sunday. So, you know, topical. Here's the best part though. On Friday, I'll take a little journey into the woods with my buddy Justin, and Lord willing emerge with a long-form album review about the whole experience. Sounds pretty great, right? Now, I'm not saying it's gonna come out on Saturday by any means. It may take me a couple days to kind of put together my thoughts, but rest assured, it will be out soon. Journal entry, November 5th, 2002. NSYNC is dead. Britney broke my heart. What's the point of living anymore? Hello?
Hey yo, JT, you wanna swing by the club and pick up some hot babes?
For the most part, Justified is a love letter to R&B, with subtle traces of world instruments sprinkled throughout. Oh yeah, and a lot of Michael Jackson, like a lot. Justin definitely pulls it off, but the key for me here are the singles. Senorita, Like I Love You, Rock Your Body, and of course, Cry Me a River. These 4 songs stand well above a majority of the rest of the album, and I'm not saying the rest of the album is bad, because it's definitely not, but there's a reason these 4 tracks are still being talked about and replicated to this day. His energy and vocal delivery coupled with some game-changing production decisions are the highlights for me. And on the other side of the spectrum, a handful of overly dramatic lyrics and maybe a few too many just okay songs caused the album to land at a comfortable 6 out of 10 for me. Also, is it just me, or does that last song, Never Again, kind of seem like it belongs on a Disney cartoon? Back in 2006, before this album dropped, the biggest song in the country was this little ditty.
'Cause you had a bad day.
And not far behind that one,
You're beautiful.
then July rolled around and Justin Timberlake stated with humbling confidence,
I'm bringing sexy back.
"But Justin, how can this be anything but incredibly sexy?" Future Sex Love Sounds dives into exactly what you think it would, but oh my gosh, does it do so in a convincing and impressive manner. The production work here is so refined and gently crafted to make sure that every sound, beat, and note is used in such a way to achieve the highest level of sexiness, which I know probably sounds a little ridiculous, but you can't hear this and say it's anything but incredibly sexy. Also, the word sexy is used over 65 times on this album, so it may just be me giving it a subliminal messaging. Gotcha! The first half of this album is arguably a masterpiece, and while it is a little lyrically weak and mind-numbingly redundant at times, it's impressive how easy it is to look past all that. There are some really great moments in the latter half of this album, especially the last 2 tracks that kind of find Justin Timberlake dealing with some different lyrical territory as well as sounds, but oh man, that first half. Solid 9 out of 10 for me. Interestingly, the word love is used over 130 times on this album, and considering the fact that the runtime is just a little over an hour, that's quite a lot of love per minute. A lot can happen in 6.5 years. I mean, for crying out loud. This is what I looked like when Future Sex Love Sounds came out. And when Justin Timberlake finally decided to record and release his 3rd studio album, I was a recent college graduate wondering if he'll ever be as attractive as he was 6.5 years ago. It's a freaking travesty, man. The 2020 Experience is one of those albums that can be a little difficult to put in a box. While the sound can generally be described as R&B or just pop, not a single song sounds the same. Tracks range from sounding like they belong on a Frank Sinatra record to something you might hear in a Spanish dance hall. One minute the mood is dark and tribal, and then suddenly you're licking lollipops and chewing on bubblegum. It's very clear that Timberlake isn't afraid of trying new things, and while the album does occasionally feature some of his worst lyrics, there's only room for 2 in my Space Lover Cocoon? And a couple of tracks stick around a tad too long. Overall, the 2020 Experience is a diverse artistic journey that uniquely displays a maturing musician, and I really enjoy the classy atmosphere and old-timey vibes scattered throughout. It's a strong 8 out of 10 for me. Alright, one more album to go. Let's do this. Well, that's a little weird. The 2020 Experience Part 2. JT serves up a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde premise, with Part 1 being smooth and classy and Part 2 being chaotic and gritty. And while it's definitely interesting, things get a little lost in the madness. A lot of the songs here find Justin revisiting sounds from his old projects, but there seems to be a real lack of anything fresh or exciting here. And a majority of the songs I forgot before they even had a chance to finish, which is actually a perfect segue. This album took forever to get anywhere. Obviously, Part 1 was made up entirely of songs with long run times, and I actually enjoy a good slow burn, but with this album, songs took forever just because it seemed. There wasn't really a legit reason. But probably the worst thing this album had going for it is a handful of lyrics that were so cringy they completely pulled me out of the moment. Cause I got you saying Jesus so much, it's like we're laying in a manger. What the f***? On a positive note, Drake and Jay-Z do a solid job on their verses, and I actually enjoy Drink You Away, which finds Justin doing a bit of a country thing. Yes, like country music, you heard me right. Well, shoot. But for me personally, I found the album to be a bit of a disappointment. 4 out of 10. Ouch. Alright, so that is every single Justin Timberlake album covered very, very quickly. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'll be jumping into his upcoming release, or his most recently released, depending on when you watch this, Man of the Woods, and I'm going to do a long-form album review on that and cover the good, the bad, the ugly, all that good stuff. So be sure to subscribe, and she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.